Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In today's fun review video, we'll be taking a look at Revell's 1/48 scale Spirit of St. Louis. This kit was released in 2005, and to my knowledge, it remains the only 1/48 scale model kit of this historically significant aircraft. This is Revell kit number 5244. In this review, I'll be going through the kit instructions, and I'll talk about any problem areas to watch out for during construction. We'll also look at the fit of the major parts and the surface detailing on the exterior of the kit. We'll take a look at the transparencies. There are just a few clear parts included with this kit, but we'll look at the fit and clarity of those. We'll also look at the detail on the wheels and the landing gear and the interior bits of the aircraft. We'll look at the kit decals as well and talk about the quality of those. A brief history of the Spirit of St. Louis. The Spirit of St. Louis was one of the most famous aircraft of all time, and it was designed and built for one specific purpose, and that was to carry its lone occupant across the Atlantic Ocean, carrying enough fuel to span the distance between New York and Paris without refueling. The first such flight would be rewarded with $25,000 from financier Norman Orteg, who initially offered the prize in 1919. By 1927, 6 men had perished attempting this crossing. The secret of Charles Lindbergh's successful flight was a small aircraft with 2,750 pounds of fuel. This gave the Spirit of St. Louis a 4,210-mile range, 600 more than the required distance for the journey. The Spirit of St. Louis was based on the popular M2 Brougham sport plane made by Ryan Airlines in San Diego, and Lindbergh personally collaborated in the engineering details of this machine. The aircraft was modified to maximize fuel capacity, and it was powered by the reliable Wright J5C Whirlwind radial engine rated at 295 horsepower. This gave the Spirit of St. Louis a flying speed of up to 129 miles per hour. On the morning of May 20th, 1927, Charles Lindbergh completed the Atlantic crossing and became a legend. Looking at the instructions, step 1 has us assembling the pilot, and we can assemble him in either the seated position or the standing position. The pilot figures look to be well molded. My only complaint is that there is only one head for the 2 figures. In step 2, we're beginning the cockpit assembly. We're gluing the rudders to the rear of the fuel tank. We're also gluing the instrument panel in place, and we're placing the instrument panel decal on top of that and adding the control stick. Everything on these parts looks excellent. They are crisply molded. There's almost no flash on these, and they fit together very precisely. Looking at the detail for the instrument panel, this will be more than adequate for what is visible through the minimal transparencies on the kit. In step 3, we're beginning the fuselage assemblies by adding some detail parts to the interior of each fuselage half. There are a few ejector pin marks on the inside of the fuselage halves, but these will not be visible on the finished kit. This photo shows some of the very finely detailed interior parts for this kit. In step 3, we're continuing with the fuselage assembly. We're trapping the instrument panel assembly and the pilot seat between the fuselage halves and gluing those together. You can see in this picture the pilot seat is also very nicely detailed. Step 4 covers the rear stabilizer assembly. Just setting things in place, it seems like this should go together without any problems at all. There's a small gap in front of the horizontal tail planes that will be filled with a small plastic piece. In step 5, we are building the landing gear. Step 5 is a multi-part step. Setting things together here, it looks like this is another area where the fit should be just fine. I left the shock struts on the sprue so I don't get those confused during assembly. The final part of step 5 is assembling the wheels and attaching them to the landing gear. Looking at the detail on these parts, once again, the detail is excellent. The only difficulty I foresee is getting a clean demarcation line between the rubber part of the tire and the silver wheel covers. In step 6, we are building the nicely detailed Wright Whirlwind engine. Just setting all these parts together, it looks like you'll get a very good fit on these parts. The detailing on the parts is nice. The finning for the air cooling on the engine also looks nice. I think this will look great once it's detail painted. In step 7, we're moving on to the wing assembly. Step 7 is another multi-part step. You can see the nicely done fabric detailing on the top of the wing outer surface in this picture. It also fits very nicely to the fuselage. In this picture, we can see the underside of the wing and aileron. We're also adding the window to the top of the wing. There's only 3 clear parts included in this kit. They all look to be very nicely molded. I don't anticipate any problems with fit, and the clarity on those seems just fine. In the second half of step 7, we're attaching the wing to the upper fuselage, and then we're also attaching the wing struts on either side of the plane. You can see the underside of the wing to fuselage join here. That looks like it's going to be very nice. I also left the wing struts on the sprue so I wouldn't get them confused in final assembly. In step 8, we're installing the window to the right side door, and then we're installing that on the airplane. There's the option of posing that open if you would like to do so. I just set the door in place, and once again, the fit around the door seems to be excellent. Moving on, step 9 covers the decal placement on this kit. There are not a whole lot of markings on the exterior of this aircraft. Most of the aircraft was covered in doped linen and painted silver. However, the forward spinner and the gas tank just behind the engine were finished in turned aluminum. This is a very unique metallic finish, and I really like the way that Revell included decals to replicate this finish. The instructions say to paint the aircraft silver first before applying these decals. The decals themselves look to be of very nice quality, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope these turn out well on the finished kit. This just shows the upper and lower sides of the wing and the front of the prop. One area to be aware of is that the flags on the side of the nose of the aircraft were not added until after the record-breaking flight. In conclusion, after going through this kit and cleaning up the parts and dry fitting the assemblies together, I'm really excited to finish this kit. The plastic parts are very well molded. There's excellent detail on both the exterior surface of the kit, as well as the interior detail on the kit and the detailing on the smaller parts. The pilot figures that are included are very well molded. The clear parts look good. The decals look good. The fit on all the parts that I dry fitted together was excellent. And I'm so glad that Revell produced a high quality kit of this historically significant aircraft. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If there are any Spirit of St. Louis fans out there, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.